Hey everybody, it's Tom Judd, Global CE Day, and we've got the Miss Paula Berrio from Medellin, Colombia on the line here. And what a beautiful place to live. Paula, how you doing?
Good on you, Tom.
Well, tell us about your job there and your
Oh,
clinical engineering role in your country.
okay, so I am clinical engineering department chief in the Paula Hospital here in Medellin, Colombia. So my department is in charge of all the activities of management medical equipment during its life cycle. We participate since strategic planning, medical equipment assessment and evaluation, installation, everything about training of users, maintenance, and replacement and disposal of medical equipment, and all the activities related to maintenance as well. Besides, I am professor of biomedical engineering underdegree and degree programs in two universities here in Medellin to support them and to improve the communication between industry and academy.
So Paula, who is that famous artist that is based out of Medellin? I know he may no longer be alive, but his artistry continues. When I went to the museum there, you know, who likes to draw large people? We'll come back to that. Don't worry about it.
I don't remember.
I'll tell
Sorry.
you. I'll tell you later. So clinical engineering, you know, in Colombia is developing very fast. I know there was a recent regional health technology meeting in Colombia where you guys talked about innovation a lot. So I know Beatrice Galeano, your colleague there, led that webinar. Tell us a little bit about, though, innovation in Medellin and in Colombia is very strong in clinical engineering.
Yeah, the universities are working on prototypes and equipment development. I think this pandemic gave us the opportunity to prove that we can innovate really fast, that we can produce medical equipment that we can use here, and short resources are needed to develop that equipment. So we work and we're working to develop many patents and many innovations here. Not only prototypes, we are innovating in helping the institutions to do a different process related to the usage of medical equipment and to optimize the usage and the safety of them.
Well, tell us about your society and ColSync and you know, what's going on as you bring people together from all over the country.
Yeah, we continue working on the Colombian College of Clinical Engineering. That's the name of our national society. So we continue doing efforts national, and we're doing efforts locally with the clinical engineering nodes. For specific COVID-19 needs, we done several efforts, but I think we can talk about five of them that are very important efforts. The first of them was the response to the needs through evaluation of alternatives through the shortage of supplies. So we need, for example, the tests here for multi-patient ventilation with a single device. And we prove and test many strategies for usage of PPE equipment and, for example, disposable clothing. And we share knowledge about the results of that test in several hospitals. We, besides, do deployment activities for useful strategies that were put in place in several hospitals, and we did that through social media as an interviews of clinical engineering department chiefs, and we put that interviews on, for example, YouTube and different social media to deploy the knowledge. We participate in the biomedical engineering symposium that were done about a month ago for the Santa Fe, the Bogota Foundation, and there was a deployment of strategies that were placed into, and we participate as consultants and during the test of development of new biomedical equipment, such as mechanical ventilators and PPE mask, for example, and PPE personal protective equipment, and in 95, for example, prototypes of masks. Um, and finally, that was a very important activity. We support the Ministry of Health during the evaluation and purchase of several medical equipment for this pandemic, for hospitals that can have clinical engineers in-house. Many of the society members participate in supporting that evaluation and purchase. Sorry.
Well, there's several key leaders from Colombia that are part of CED. I know your colleague, Andrea Garcia, is now in the Ministry of Health and actually was just able to tell me today she's able to be one of the presenters in our policy and legislation program coming up in a couple weeks. And so we're delighted about that. And of course, you were in one earlier this year. So what's the vision for clinical engineering in Colombia these days? Where do you think you will be in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, I think we want to continue improving the integration with the several stakeholders of clinical engineering in our country. I mean, we want to continue to integrate the Ministry of Health as government, the academy, such universities, and the industry with healthcare providers and suppliers of medical equipment and many supplies, because we think that way we can improve and we can have the recognition of our profession here in Colombia. And we can, for example, as healthcare providers, provide the needs, but through that relation with academy and government, we can solve in a better way that needs. So I think it is the thing we want to continue improving, and proof of that is that our national society is conformed with members of that different institutions. Besides, I think we think that's important to continue with the knowledge diversification. That means we have to learn more about, for example, IT personnel and sanitary personnel, and continue to participate in activities in hospital, but hands-on, as not such as engineers here in our office, but to do more activities in field. And I think we have to do more activities to optimize the medical equipment usage as well. And I mean that kind of activities are the integration, for example, with that medical equipment, with information systems, with another equipment. And as I said before, the optimization of processes. I think we have to innovate, not just creating more devices. We can innovate since from our profession in changing the way the medical devices are done every day to get more results or to do that more efficient.
You know, I'm glad you talked about, you know, changing processes of care as well as the devices used in care. You know, I had the privilege of joining you and your colleagues last September, a year ago, in Medellin for a major conference that Colsync put on. And many of the other professors, you know, there's what a terrific network of universities, not only in your city, but around the country that come together. And all of them were asking about digital health, like you were talking about, with clinical engineering, working with IT to use, you know, these new products and new methods to deliver care using tools. You know, we all know the smartphone has become a medical device. So what are your thoughts on digital health here as we near the end?
I think it's an important topic in the future for clinical engineering too. I think the pandemic, was another activity we have to do here, and I forget to mention, but this COVID-19 pandemic potentialized the use of telehealth here. We have, or we had a problem with the legislation or normalization, standardization of the interactivities related to, for example, to telehealth consults. And now, because of the pandemic, we have to put that in place in a really fast way, and we have to talk with government, and we have to put in place the legislation and the platforms and everything needed. And that led us to attend many people, not only here in the cities, but that are far away from here. So I think it a pandemic potentialize the use of that and show us that is another way to improve the service of the healthcare services supply. So I think it's important, and we have to continue learning how to do that, and how to teamwork with IT personnel, and to put that strategies in place.
Well, Paula, when we started, I said I'd promise I'd make you laugh, and so here we go. Here's Botero.
Yeah, Botero. But
and although I've not met any people in Colombia that look like this, you know, it's a very interesting artist, Fernand Botero from Medellin. So
yeah, of course.
Anyway, thank you for your time today. Any closing comments for your colleagues around the world and other women clinical engineers that are as talented as yourself? I
think we are really, really important for the healthcare improvement, for the patient's safety, and we think we have to be sensitive to that. We are engineers, but we can promote the health of people. So I think we have to continue working, and I feel very passionate and happy about my work and about help people every day with my efforts and what we are talking here. And this specific pandemic was complicated, but let us learn every day about what we can do. And I think show that pandemic showed to the government and to the sanitary personnel and many people that didn't know about biomedical engineering and clinical engineering, that we are here and that we are important to provide the healthcare service. So
we agree with you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Phil.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.